What's up, boats? Give me a mic check real quick, please, and let's see if this is lagging. If it becomes laggy, we're just gonna shut down the main channel and stick to the live channel only. It's not my fault. I have Spectrum, and Spectrum sucks in my area, and we pay for the best of the best. Okay, hey, you don't want to be glued to the screen, or I don't want you to be glued to the screen either, but for the first 5 minutes, let's do that to make sure I'm not lagging. I can't see it because obviously I'm streaming here. Please and thank you. You know what, everybody? This makes for a fun way to start, huh? There's always digital stuff happening. There's always things happening with the programs, whatever, but you know what? That's part of life, man. There's always issues, there's always problems. Just find a solution, try to get it done anyways, and that's what we're doing. Because no matter what, I'm doing the live today. I think that this is a very interesting topic that never gets discussed, and I want to see what everybody has to say. So therefore, we're gonna talk about it. We are, of course, getting started in about 2.5 minutes, but just so you know, if you guys are watching this from my main channel, you are not going to be able to really fully participate. You can't comment, you can't do any of that because this is being streamed live to my new Resolutions live channel. I'm just trying to get everybody separated, the people that like the lives and the people that like the regular videos, and of course the people that like both. So this is the best way that I could do it, and we're just trying to see who's gonna move over to which channel and such, you know. So there is a link in the comments. If not, Bolts can send it out. Just request it, and that way you can copy paste and get on the other one. Heads up, my kids are watching. I have almost zero filter, just so you know. I'll try, but I can't make any promises. We don't get we don't go too far out, but I do cuss a little bit. Hey, welcome everybody. We're gonna get started in about a minute. Normally I'm quiet and let you listen to the music, but today we're getting this because I need to make sure, since I'm streaming double, so I'm streaming to my regular channel and my secondary live channel. I want to make sure that there's no lag and there's no issues because my spectrum in the area is trash. I would do a backflip, but my knees can't handle that anymore. And you know what? Hey, it's Katie. I love that your kids are here because this is going to be good for them so they can understand loneliness, because it's an issue, man, across the board. That's what we're talking about today, guys. Look at the topic at the top. Reselling doesn't have to be lonely. We have a fix for that because, you know, Ray Solutions gives you real solutions. That's what we're talking about today. Woo! Let's get started. All right. So a couple of things off the bat that I want to get out of the way. If I get really laggy, I'm just telling you guys now, my main channel is going to shut down and the live channel is going to have the stream because of spectrum in the area. That's just the way it rolls. I'm trying my best and I do have a very good setup, but what can I do, right? I do what I can. Second, today is a very interesting live that is, it affects resellers, but in fact, I believe that it affects more people across more different or across all places. Even if you have a 9-to-5, even if you do something else, especially entrepreneurs, they get affected by this a lot. So much, because reselling can't be very lonely. It can, and I know that firsthand. If you have been an entrepreneur for any amount of time, you probably know that firsthand as well. So today we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be discussing the problem, the reason, it happens, what impact it's having on your life. We, of course, are going to have solutions to the problem because we can't have solutions. We can't have a happy life if we don't have any solutions to our problems, right? Then I'm going to give you like a general sense of how we can implement this or how you can implement this. And of course, we are going to be going back and forth with sharing stories. If you guys have a story to share, and maybe it'll help somebody else, because loneliness can be an actual killer. It can hurt you so much. And sometimes, especially us men, and of course, I'm going to be talking about it from a man's perspective because I am a man. So I don't know, being female, being a woman, it's a little different than being a man when it comes to the loneliness factor. But I'm going to give you my perspective and what I see from the other side of the aisle, from a woman's perspective. And, we can go back and forth. We can talk about what this is, how we can help each other, how we can help ourselves, how we can help our family members, our friends, our fellow resellers. This came up, by the way, because how can I explain this? I was talking to a few people that don't necessarily do this, what we do, but they are entrepreneurs, and the conversation just automatically switched to, I haven't been able to hang out with so-and-so. I haven't been able to do this. I haven't been able to do that. I haven't been able to go out to the range, go out biking, go running. I haven't been able to do any of that. So I said, okay, why is this a common theme? I said, okay, this is an issue across the board. So as soon as I started looking online at what's going on, first of all, looking at some science at, okay, how's everybody feeling? How is this affecting people's lives? I found that this is a big problem across the board. Loneliness across the board, period. But today we're going to be focusing on entrepreneurship, people that resell, and people that are constantly alone because of what we do, because of our job. So first, let me say hello to everybody. and then we're gonna keep going or get started. Big John Tech Reviews. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. What's going on? Good evening, my Texas brother. What's up? What's up? Valores perdidos. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Bendiciones. Gracias. Hey, it's Katie. I mentioned it earlier. Heads up, my kids are watching. I have like a 10% filter because I do have some filter. So I'll try to keep it as PG as possible. But I'm just telling you right now that sometimes I'm just me. So I try to watch out. But either way, it's a good learning lesson for your kids, right? Because they're going to hear it all when they're in the world, in the real world. TT3, how you doing? Full Frame? Hey, Full Frame was with us last week on the live. It was awesome. We were on for quite a while, which is normally I try to keep it to an hour, but sometimes conversations get interesting and they get a little longer than usual, and that's okay. I don't mind any of that. Let's see. Mike's eBay Adventure. How you doing, brother? Thank you very much for joining. Create with Caterina. I sent you a message in one of your shorts. Hit me up whenever you can. It'll say something on the message because I have something very interesting for you if you're interested, but we can do that later. She says, I finally got on the live. I can't do morning ones, and I have to get to the post office for shipments before 7 p.m. Damn. So it works. Awesome. So it is going to be from now on, guys, on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. We're going to have a live show. I'm going to, unless something goes wrong or I have to change it, it's going to be Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and then random ones at whenever, because if I'm in an estate sale or doing retail arbitrage, or I just feel like, you know what, we need to have a conversation about something, then I'll go live. Usually it's going to be vertical, like with my phone. And the Tuesday one's going to be here with all my setup and all the bells and whistles. Again, if you guys are not aware, I have Resolutions at Resolutions Live. It's my secondary channel. It's all live all the time, not scripted at all. Of course, I have notes that are right in front of me, by the way. For those people that get real picky about, oh, what is he doing? Where is he reading it from? This is me all the time. But I do have notes because I do prepare for my lives all the time. David Kelber, how you doing, bro? North Star Jewelry and more. Hey, hey, hey. Okie Ranch Wife, how you doing? How you doing? Good thing that I'm not a people person. My closest neighbor is a mile away for a reason. I get that. We are going to discuss the ups and downs, the yeses and the nos, and what can happen and why we should not just brush it off too, though, that I like to be by myself, but I would say about 80% of the time. The other 20%, no matter who we are and no matter how much we say that we like to be alone, nobody really likes that to be alone 100% of the time. We're not built that way. And we'll talk about that. Jeff Kiernan, 1210, how you doing, bro? Today is the best day of my life. Did I sell 20 items and make hundreds of dollars? No. Did I win the lottery? No. Well, that's good. You know what? Be happy. Death to eBay tape. That's funny. Texas lady, how you doing? I sub to your new channel. Thank you very much, ma'am. Pampa Mania, how you doing? I was in La Siesta. I had an alarm set up for your live. Well, thank you very much for joining. Okay. Hey, Bachelor Brad. Hi, nerds. How you doing, bro? I hope that was a good hi, nerds. Okay, so today's topic is going to be on feeling lonely because this job can be lonely. And I know that for sure because I spend I'm going to say about 80% of my day alone. We list, we take pictures, we go to the USPS. We're always alone. And there might be people walking around when we're out, right? When you're dropping off, when you're doing things. But that's not the same as making a connection with somebody that you're hanging out with, that you're having a conversation with, that you're trying to connect with. That's not the same at all. So by alone, I mean that nobody is here with us, giving us high fives, talking us through issues, telling us that we're doing a good job and so on and so forth. So what is the problem that I see that we're having in this job, in what we do? Reselling is a solo grind, and most of us spend hours, again, listing, packing, shipping, doing all that. The hustle feels great until you figure out there's no one to celebrate with. And that is a big like a big moment for a lot of people that are like, whoa, man, you know what? I had a great sale. I sold something for $500 and I bought for 10. I sold this and I sold that. And then you're like, and then, oh shit, nobody's there to give me a high five because you're alone. And that can be detrimental to you, to your soul, your inside, right? Because it's like, man, I want to share this with someone. We all want to share our wins. We, of course, rather not share our losses or, the downside, the issues that happen, but we want to share our wins. So it feels really lonely sometimes because we are alone. There's nobody here. Most of us work by ourselves. The business is built in such a way that a lot of the times we're going to be by ourselves. And that's okay. Again, look, I am a person that likes to be alone. I do. But 20% of the time, I want to be amongst other people. For example, I spend the entire day alone. I spend prepping. I spend doing everything that we do normally, right? And then right now, my girl just walked in, like right before it started at 5:30. And I'm like, great. And that makes me happy. Gave her a kiss. How you doing? And then I asked her for this, which is iced coffee and water. And she always helps me out. And then after this live, I'm going to spend time with her and with my dogs. Because somebody said we can celebrate with our dogs, I guess. And it's great. Look, I love dogs. I have 3 dogs. And I spend so much time with them. But you guys know, like, we understand that it's not the same. It's not. We need people connection. We need to have each other. We need to have somebody else that cares about us. And we all feel this need, no matter who you are and how, like, oh man, I want to be, I love to be always by myself. No, we do not. We're not built that way. We just aren't. So that is the problem that I see now. Why does this happen? Well, being an entrepreneur is just naturally isolating. So why is it isolating? Well, first of all, you got an uncommon schedule. What do I mean by uncommon? I used to work 9 to 5. I used to work for corporate America, right? For those of you that have a 9 to 5, then you're probably going to understand. But if you do this too, let's just say my uncommon schedule. I am scheduled because I have everything scheduled out on my calendar, right? But sometimes something might come up like, hey, somebody sent me a text that they have all these, chingos of merchandise that I got to go buy. And now my schedule turns around like that. And now I have to drive 3 cities away, an hour away to Austin to go pick up merchandise and come back and then pick up my schedule where it goes and then keep going. A person that goes to a 9 to 5 doesn't do that. You wake up, you grab your coffee, you go to 9 to 5, you take your lunch, you come back, and you're done. And you don't even think about anything anymore because your schedule was 9 to 5. Texas lady says, this is so true. I like being pretty much alone in my small town. Really, neighbors don't think I work or do anything, but they do not understand reselling. Yeah, and that right there is the issue. That right there is the point. Most people don't understand us. If they don't understand entrepreneurship, if they've never been an entrepreneur, they're definitely not going to understand. And we have different priorities. And again, I'm never going to talk down to anybody. I'm never going to talk shit about somebody that's working a 9 to 5 because I did it for years. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. If this is your side gig, that's okay. But you can't say that it's the same. It's not the same. It's completely different. For example, you go to your 9 to 5. Most people, I'm just going to generalize here, so don't take offense. You go to your 9 to 5, right? You wake up, again, you grab your coffee and you get there and everything is pretty much laid out for you. There's policies and procedures. There's team members. There's an office. Wherever you go, everything is done. So the only thoughts that go to your mind is, what do I have to do in my job, my piece of this company, so that I can not get fired, so that I can make money and keep working, so that the company can keep working, right? So all of that is already structured for you. When you come home, you get to turn it off at 5, for example, and then you just watch Netflix, have all the fun in the world, and it's great. Normally, a reseller, an entrepreneur, we're never off. You can't really turn it off. You're always on because you don't have those set guidelines, that set time frame. And can you do that for yourself? Yes, I do it all the time. But if you really think about it, it's always back here. The job you can turn off easily. And I know because I remember like, shit, it's 5, sales. I'm not even thinking about this anymore. I'm done. But here, I'm always on. I'm always thinking, I'm like, okay, how can I gain, how can I gain more sales? How can I get to my next step? How can I get to that next level? How can I get this? And I'm always thinking that way. So it is a little different for us. We have different priorities. There's so many different things that are going on. I'll give you another one. On Saturdays, for example, most people that work Monday through Friday, they're like, oh, badass Saturday. I get to wake up at 10, so I'm going to sleep in, right? I don't get to sleep in. Most people don't get to sleep in. Why? Because Saturdays are estate sale days. So you're up, you're like, oh shit, 6 o'clock. Okay, I got to get my coffee on. Maybe I got to work out. I got to do everything before 7 so that I can drive my ass to that estate sale and stand in line so that I can get all the stuff that is going to be sold so that I can do what I want to do and not have to be, stuck with my 9 to 5 or make the extra money that I want to make if I do work that 9 to 5 or whatever the case. But our schedules and our priorities are completely different. They can overlap for sure in some places, but they are mostly different. Let's see. I can set up USPS to pick up my packages at my door, but instead I choose to go to the post office. So do I. We have a super tiny neighborhood USPS I can walk to. And I do the same thing. And you know why? Because I want to meet those people. And because I do that, by the way, everybody already knows me. As soon as I walk in, when I can cut the line, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but because they can they have a Dutch door, like a side door. They just like, oh, Damien's coming. And somebody opens it up, scans me in, boom, sales. Instead of waiting for 15 or 20 people, to scan in and give me a receipt. Insane. So it is very helpful. North Star Jewelry says, my sisters come to help me work on store stuff. So that's nice. I enjoy the time with them. That's good. I'm glad that you're able to do that. Not everybody does that. And not everybody has family, right? So regular people, and by regular people, I mean people that are not entrepreneurs, that are not resellers, they wouldn't really get it. That's my point. They don't get it. And I have to say, most resellers never prioritize connection. Like, we don't prioritize it because the work always feels urgent. I got to do it now. Órale, güey. Ahorita. I can't wait for the photos. Cállate. I just spent $500 on merchandise. If it's just sitting there, it's not going to make me money back. So get in there, take those photos, and keep going. So we don't prioritize ourselves. We don't prioritize our happiness. We don't prioritize connection. We don't prioritize friendships. We don't prioritize our significant others. Sometimes our kids, our family. And I know how that sounds, and I don't want to be a downer because this is definitely not going to be a downer live. We're going to discuss the solutions, but that's what happens when we're in this. That's what happens. If you're ultra good at making schedules and making sure that you spend time with the people that you love, great. But a lot of people can't do that because, again, the work always feels urgent. So we don't prioritize those connections. David Kelbert says, I definitely understand. Sold my 1,000 item on one of my stores. Damn. Was part of that accomplishment. I grouped my chat siblings to boast, and it was like a high five with no return. Shit. And I don't mean to laugh, David, but I get it, bro. This is why I believe that communities on YouTube, on Discord, on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on wherever you can find them are ultra important. Because only people that are doing what we are doing would understand, right? And that's the reason why we want to do that. Okay, Ranch Wife says, congrats. Awesome. And you know what? Everybody, congratulate David Kelber. 1,000 items is a lot of items. Again, this is why we have communities like this, because we need people that are like us, right? So going back to the general topic of loneliness, about how this can be a very lonely thing to do, a very lonely business, a very lonely career, whatever you want to call it, it can be lonely. So what is that doing to you? What impact is that having on your life? I have to say, loneliness can kill motivation, creativity, and consistency. Because when you feel alone, and thank you, everybody. Woohoo! Congrats. Loneliness can kill motivation, consistency, and creativity, because when you feel alone, you feel like there's nothing to work for. And when there's nothing to work for, then why are you working? Everybody works like that. Our brains always do that. We have to find that why. We have to find the reason to push forward. In fact, I was having a conversation with my girl yesterday about this, and about why I went from working out consistently 5 to 6 days a week. So it was 5 strength training and 1 day mountain biking. Excuse me. To now 3 days. And I said, because at some point or another, I lost the reason of why I do what I do, why I wanted to work out. And my main reason to work out, by the way, is not because of the look or the arms or the legs or the whatever. It's always because it gives me the energy that I need to follow my dream. That's why I do it. And I just forgot there for a second because, life gets tough, man. Life is hard. It's hard for everybody. It's also why I try to be as nice as I can to people. Not everybody, but most people. Because life is hard. Why would I try to make it harder for somebody else, right? And I don't want somebody else to do that to me. How else is loneliness impacting you? Well, you burn out faster and harder when there's no community around you. This is why we build communities like this. This is why I think the lives are ultra important, because you guys know that this is me having a conversation with you. Unfortunately, it's not verbal, but I can see the comments. I can see everybody on here. I can see that people are together. And if you don't have a community around you, if you run out of steam and there's nobody there to help you up, to catch you, to help you summon, not that you're always asking for help from everybody, from a hand up, because a lot of the times I always think, or I always say that, we need to push ourselves and we need to be our own saviors for sure. But it's nice when somebody can be there for you, because things go sideways all the time for everybody. There's been times where I lost a ton of money, and that's just a kick in the pants, man. And what do you do? If I didn't have a strong family of people around me, it would be so much worse. But thankfully, I have very good friends that are around me that help me through situations like that. So what other impact does loneliness have on you? You start questioning if it's even worth it. That's the worst one, because maybe you really like doing this. Maybe you're learning, it's a learning process. But when you feel really alone, when you feel like there's nobody there with you, you start questioning everything. Like, why the hell am I doing this? Why don't I just get a 9 to 5, go to the office and meet people and do this and do that, right? I mean, when you start questioning everything and whether it's even worth it, that's when your business starts to take a hit. You make less money because you make bad decisions, because you're depressed or you're not as happy as you could be. And that leads to the closing of your store. I've seen it happen before. And not just in reselling. I've seen it happen before in a bunch of different situations. Cool Ranch Cerrito says, just returned from the doctor's office. Sorry I'm late. It's all good. Thank you very much. Welcome. Texas Lady says, if I haven't had my YouTube friends community, I may have quit already. Thank you very much for backing me up on that one. I get it. And we definitely need more of that. And not just here, which we'll discuss right now, but everywhere. So how do we combat this loneliness? How do we combat us feeling this kind of way so that it doesn't drill us into the ground, so that it doesn't have a long-lasting impact, a long-lasting negative impact on us? Well, the solution is very simple. And there's a lot of solutions under the overarching solution, but the solution is find connection through shared activities. That's going to be the solution. If you are having a problem with loneliness because you don't know how to meet people, or you're always like very introverted to where you can't even go ask a stranger's name, where you are one of those people that's like, oh my God, like like somebody has to come and talk to you. If not, you'd basically live alone and die alone. If you're one of those people, let me give you some overarching solutions in a bit to see if this can get you out of your shell and break that cycle of loneliness, which is unnecessary. It doesn't have to be this way. There's always a better way. We just have to find it. We have to have the courage to find it and pursue it. And by the way, I'm breaking this into two different, sections. One of them is going to be for single people, and the other one is going to be for couples. And yes, couples get lonely too, by the way. It's an interesting phenomenon that I was reading about because, that's stupid. How can you be lonely if you have somebody? Just wait a second. Once we go through it, you're going to be like, oh shit, okay, now it makes sense. And there is a little bit of science that I included into it because I wanted to make sure that it's not just me, right? It's not just me feeling it or whatever. It's more than me. It's other people in the US, across the world, where we're working in our area, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Pom Pom Mania says, I love being alone. I'm never lonely. I have friends online. I game and I see people at work. I need my alone time to recharge. That's great. That's the point. But you have those people. I can tell you because I have people that have reached out to me that don't have that. They don't have people online. They don't have people at work. They don't have any of that. And that's what we want to get through today. That's what we're going to get through, specifically impact those people. And maybe it'll trigger something in you to think about. I don't know, maybe trying something new. You know what? I'll give you a different one. For example, if you're a single and you don't know where to meet people, like as in you want to meet your significant other, you want to date, you don't have to do apps like everybody does, because I've never done that, by the way, but I've heard from people around me and everybody online says that they're just trash. They're just for hookups and nothing else. And it's like, okay, so how do you make meaningful connections? That's what we're going to go through today too, because this can be a way for you to make a meaningful connection, even when you don't like to talk to people, even when you don't want to get out of your shell, even when you just want to be like this wrapped up, and even when you want to push everybody away. There's always a way. I'm a big believer in that there's always a way, a positive way to do things. We just have to figure out what problem, we are having, figure out the reason it's happening, how it's impacting our life, and then we can find a solution and have enough courage to chase it, to go through with it. My church and neighborhood have a monthly widow luncheon at different restaurants. I never miss those, and no matter how busy I am in my business. That's nice. And in fact, part of that is going to be in a little bit. You'll see, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's explain why the solution of finding connection through shared activities will work. And the activities are going to be the solutions that I'm going to give you guys in a second, and I'm going to put them on screen so you guys can see that this is real. It's not just me telling you shit like, oh my God, look, you should just do this. I went and I found websites for everything in the San Antonio, Austin area, but you guys can understand that just transplant yourself. If you live in New York, if you live in California, I don't care where you live. Transplant yourself and search in your own area. But I am going to show you that in a second. But think about it this way. When there's an activity, everyone is there for a reason. So you already have something in common. It doesn't matter what activity it is. You have something in common with those people because you want it to go. Like when you go play, what's that game? Chingao with the cards. Magic the Gathering. I have never played that. I don't want to. That's not my thing. But I've seen that people they gather and they are just so close. They are friends. They start like swapping cards and little monitos, and they do everything together. And they're not fighting or like just transactional. It feels and looks like they want to be there because they have that in common. It's the same thing that happens with gaming. It really does, man. If you get on gaming and then you have a headset, oh man, you can make some real friends, like actual friends that eventually you'll meet in real life. It's insane. And it's insane how technology is so helpful when it comes to this. Hold on one second. I always connect with local resellers. If I buy from them, then we go together, source and trade goods. The circle is small. That's good. That's a great way to do that. I need to do that more. But also, again, everything feels urgent, right? I'm always super busy, but I did meet with somebody that's on the channel, mind you. We went to go get wings and beer, talked, and it was great. It was awesome. And I love to do things like that. So finding connection through activities. Why is this a good way for you to get rid of your loneliness, or at least help you not feel so lonely? The activity is a distraction. For those of you that don't like to talk, that activity is a distraction or the goal, whatever you're trying to do. Let's say that you go to an escape room with random people. You guys are all going to do it together. And the connection happens naturally on the side. It just does. You don't have to reach out and be the first one. Hey, how you doing? My name is Damien Silva. Nice to meet you. You don't have to do any of that. It's very natural. It happens because that's just how we're built. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's how we're built. Everybody has this. It's easier for some of us than for others, for sure. Like for me, I've never had a problem going up to anybody and meeting anyone. And even like when I was trying to date or whatever, trying to meet a girl, never had a problem with that. And not to say that, this guy. No, I mean, I think, my parents always taught us to, if you have a question or if you want to talk to somebody, just go. Shut the hell up and go. Don't be like, I wonder. Don't be wondering. Just go and ask. It's fine. It'll be okay. He's like, you have to meet people and things like that. And I think that that's where that comes from. And of course, being on video all the time now and meeting so many people online, it just becomes easier and easier the more that you practice it. But for those of you that are not as inclined to do that, it happens naturally when you have an activity. Also, think about it this way. If you go to an activity, let's just say that you go, to a meetup for resellers. The more times you go, the more trust gets built. Therefore, let's just say that the first day you get there and you meet somebody, right? And you meet the group. Let's leave it at that. You meet the group. It's like 10 people. And then me as a man is like, okay, if I see a cute girl, I'm going to be like, oh man, I want to talk to her. But it's the first day, so you kind of chill out. So you're like, no, espérate, güey. So you go again and again and again. Say 3 or 4 times in, you're like, you know what? You go and bring something up. It's going to make it so much easier for that lady, for that woman to not feel so, I don't know, awkward. Because like for example, when you go to a club, women already expect that they're going to be hit on, right? So it's like, everywhere. And it's just creepy sometimes. It's weird. But when you go to something like this, if you go to an activity and you continue to go, there's an inherent trust because you haven't done anything stupid. You're doing the activity. You have something in common. So therefore, it makes it easier for you to be able to do that and for both of you to win and for both of you not to feel awkward. I mean, come on, it makes sense. I've done that before with guys, and obviously not to date, but to meet other people, like to meet, like for example, when I moved to Henderson, Nevada, I didn't know anybody other than my employees, and I don't want to hang out with them because they're my employees. I'm like, nah, draw a line. So I went to a casino, and I sat at a roulette table, and I met this Asian man, super cool dude. He introduced me to a bunch of other people, like his friends, and that became my friends. We went hiking. We did a bunch of other shit like that. It was so fun. So once you do things like this, and it's repetitive, it builds automatic trust. And see, Jeff says, I would try this, but my wife says I cannot date anyone else. You know what? My girl says the same thing, bro. Unless she's got a lot of money, then maybe she'll let it slide. I'm kidding. She's probably going to come in to, throw something at me right now. Well, at least she's not Hispanic. If not, she would throw the chancla. What do white girls do? What do they throw? She's so going to give me shit after this. Oh, man. That's funny. My soon-to-be wife recommended your channel. We both sell an Evil Bay. That's funny. Robert Bates, how you doing, man? Well, thank you very much for getting on, and thank her for recommending the channel. We talk about all kinds of things, by the way. When it's live, we go into all kinds of subjects. In this case, I made it about reselling. But we talk about all kinds of things because it's fun. And because we're not just resellers, right? We're people, man. There's so many things that we can do, so many things that we enjoy. And this is hella fun for me, by the way. We get to do all kinds of things. Full Frame says, pre-COVID, I used to open my warehouse to resellers to buy, sell, and trade, but shut down that in 2020, trying to get this building in order to start doing that again to new people. That's cool. You see, that is a great way for you to meet people. And why? Because not only are you helping yourself, you're helping them too. So everybody's winning. So there's just going to be, everybody's going to be happy, right? With meeting you there, with being there. I used to go to Laughlin, Nevada 2 times a year. I miss the Colorado Bell. Not a gambler, but a nice place to visit. Laughlin is nice, for sure. I was in Henderson for a while because I was working in Vegas, but Vegas is trash. The city, I just didn't like it. It wasn't me. Henderson is beautiful. I lived there for a couple of years, and I love the Red Rock area. I hike basically, I mean, not everything because there's no way to hike everything, but I hiked all the trails. It was freaking awesome when I was there. I really liked it, except for the heat because it's like being in hell. Not that Texas is even, better than that, but everything's like being in hell. North Star Jewelry says, that's true. I always have my chancla ready. I'm telling you. So what do white girls throw? I don't know. That's funny. Damien, I missed your comment on my short. Somehow I had over 600 comments on one of my videos trying to reply to them all. That's all good. Don't worry about that. We can always talk. I mean, you guys have the video tomorrow anyways for what the FAQ, since you guys are part of the posse, so it's all good. Okay, so let's keep going here. So what are the solutions, again, that we said? The solution to loneliness is to find connection through shared activities, right? So now for those of you that are just listening, because I know that some of you are probably working and just, listening to this, look at the screen real quick because I'm going to show you actual examples of what this looks like. Real solutions. Hold on. First, let me give you, before I get on the screen, let me give you a bit of science. We're going to start with the single people because the single people have it worse than people in a relationship. And by that, I mean, according to science and according to polls, they feel lonelier. And first of all, I mean, you would have to understand that because if you have your significant other, at the very least, even if you hate each other sometimes, at least you have somebody to come home to fight with, right? Somebody that's single doesn't have anybody else. You come home to an empty house, and sometimes that can be very tough. So according to the American Psychiatric Association, single adults are nearly twice as likely as married adults to feel lonely on a weekly basis, 39% versus 22%. No partner and no built-in person to come home to. So that's what makes it worse. So we're going to start off with the singles. Single people, what can you do to make yourself less lonely, to meet people? I'm going to give you guys some ideas because I actually have done some of these, not everything. But this live also came up, by the way, because my girl said, hey, somebody just told me that we can pay X amount of money. And I guess what happens is you get, how is it? You make an appointment, let's say 7 p.m. and they tell you, we're going to meet at Texas Roadhouse. And then you get sit with 2 other people, with another couple. And then that's going to be, it's like a couple's date, I guess. And it's like, well, it's a great way to meet people because you meet all kinds of people. And I said, okay, that's interesting. That's also why this live came up. But what else are you going to do if you don't want to do any of that? If you don't want to waste any money, fine. Look at this. I am a runner, so I can tell you that running clubs are freaking great because you talk pre the run. And during the run, usually people like to run. Like I don't want anybody talking to me. I want everybody leave me the hell alone. But afterwards, I'll talk for sure. We talk about, of course, the shoes, what run we are going to do next. My legs hurt, my knees hurt. Look at my gait. What am I doing? How am I stepping? What are my times? All that. Usually it's running specific, of course, but eventually it'll turn into something else. I found this one, San Antonio Road Runners Map, free meetups. So you get a free meetup and you look for events. Look at this one. Run, Ride, Walk, Augie's Barbecue. Saturday social run. So that's a good one, right? Run clubs, fitness classes. If you guys, like for you ladies, Yoga classes are great. Or the classes, I don't know what it's called, but when you have like this little trampoline, and it's not like a big ass trampoline for kids. It's little to where they have a bar and you're like and jumping like that. It's a great workout, and you get to meet a bunch of other ladies if that's what you want to do. Also, when it comes to activities like this, you have a pickleball, which I just got into, by the way, and climbing gyms. I do have a climbing gym near me in Austin. South Austin is the closest one. And I have gone climbing. I am not a climber, but I have gone climbing. We were doing some rock scrambling in the area. So I said, okay, let's try to go over there and see about, who these people are and see how it is. And everybody was super freaking nice. But normally climbers are that way. Just generally speaking, they're very inviting. So I went to do that, and I sucked compared to everybody else because I was like, bro, I'm not a climber. And I said, give me a motorcycle though, and I'm down like James Brown. But I went and I did that, and it was fun. It was chingos of people, and they were very like, oh, come on, get into this. The same with pickleball. We just started with pickleball, a friend of mine and I, because we want to play and get good enough so that we can compete in January. And I said, oh, that gives us enough time. Like, that's more than enough time. And this friend, he is very, very competitive, and he is a ultra athlete. I am not, but I mean, I can hold my own, but I'm not like him. So we're trying to get this together, right? So you can go to a pickleball place, and pickleballers, I swear, man, they are also super inviting because it is a fast-growing sport. It really is. The same thing with the shit where you throw the little bags. I just did it this weekend actually with my family. Chingao. What is it called? Somebody tell me. The bags in the hole. What is it called? Cornhole. Chingao. I forget. So I did cornhole, and everybody was super nice. And by the way, I suck at it, but I did okay. Thank you, Cole Ranch Dorito. Cornhole. So we did that, and everybody was really inviting. So let's look for a different one. What else? Look at this one. This is the one that I want to do, and I already told my girl, I don't know about here, but I want to do something like this. Classes, specifically cooking classes. And if you guys don't know anything about me, know this. I love to cook. It is a great way for me to escape from the money, from I got to get the views and the subscribers and the channel and running the business and all the shit that comes behind that. This is a great way for me to escape. So look at this. I found these classes. Look at that. Sold out. Everything was sold out. I was like, no mames, how is everything sold out? I guess it's that popular. And then I was like, okay, nobody wants to do baguettes, man, because all the baguette ones, none of them are sold out. I said, what's going on here? And then I saw this one. I said, oh, look, how to make Oreos, sold out. And then I thought, maybe we should tell this person that's making Oreos to go and find a fitness class to do right after the Oreos. And these classes are everywhere, by the way. I found these there in Barton Springs Mill. So this is in Dripping Springs. So it's outside of, for those of you that are not from here, consider it Austin. It's not Austin, by the way, but it's outside of Austin. It's like a suburb of Austin. And these classes are also in Houston and a bunch of other places. So you could do something like that. I mean, come on. Creative Catarina says, my youngest son, who is now 22, plays pickleball. Wherever he goes, he makes friends just sitting on the bench and gets invited to play. It's so amazing and easy to meet people. That's great. I love it. I am trying to get better at pickleball, but right now I'm doing so-so. I need to just practice. I can pick up anything if I do. Okay, so we're looking at cooking classes, right? What else can you do? Pottery, improv, language, exchange, meaning if you want to learn, like for example, somebody could tell me, I want to learn Spanish, and I can teach them, and then they can teach me whatever language they speak, right? And I've always wanted to learn German. Of all languages, I've always wanted to learn German. So that'd be cool. What else can you do as a single man or woman? Go volunteer. You're doing something good for somebody else, and you're doing something good for yourself. I have done a lot of volunteer work. When I was younger, we did a lot of this. My brother and I, my best friend, and somebody else. And you definitely get to meet all kinds of people. So it's a great way for you to do this. I mean, I just pulled up the food bank, but you can do this in all kinds of places, doing all kinds of things. You can go help at the nursing home. You can go help at the hospital. You can help I mean, there's so much. For example, Habitat for Humanity, Restore. Restore actually has a store, by the way, for resellers. But you can go help build homes for the people that need a home. It's great. And you can meet so many people that are doing things like that. I met a couple of people at my pacemaker clinic appointment. That was enough talking for me. Oh, shit. Hold on. You know what? I have something for you. This is probably here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. If I can do it. I'm going to share something with you specifically, but of course I'll share it with everybody else because why would I not? Here, if you guys want to see something interesting, go to, oh shit, what happened? Hold on. Try to find this. I think he is more on TikTok, but find that on YouTube. I believe he has got a YouTube channel as well. So look at that. It's fitness for those people that have issues with their heart. Freaking cool. Okay, what else can we do? Let's keep going here. Networking. Look at this. There's so much networking. Right now, there's going to be a lot of networking when it comes to AI. So if you really know AI, you can definitely talk to a bunch of people. Look, let's go into the business section right here. Oh, shit, everything is AI. I swear to God, man. AI. Data centers, what are we really consuming? Okay, we're not going to talk about that today because that's going to be a separate live on the issues of data centers, like all the problems that are happening with that. Let's see, let's keep going here. I found someone earlier. Difficult Conversations Practice Lab. That's a good one. So the Difficult Conversations Practice Lab is a good one because if you guys have never had to fire anybody or had difficult conversations in general, but a lot of the times it's going to be for business, it's very helpful. I've had to have a bunch of difficult conversations like that, and it is helpful to understand people and to understand how to best do that. But what about this? Co-working space. Co-working spaces are great. You go and you sit. If you need an office, you basically pick an area and you sit there. You get to meet a lot of people. I've actually done this before in San Antonio, and it was fun as hell. It really was. It was very fun. It was interesting for sure, to meet people and to see others there. But you could do this as well. Now, hold on one second. Let me move over to the couples one. Those were all for single people. So now let's talk about the ones for couples. First, let me give you some science. According to a 2025 State of the Marriage study, nearly 42% of women say emotional distance and loneliness is one of the biggest challenges in their marriage. That's women. Men and couples. According to the American Institute of Boys and Men, 85% of married men rely on their spouse as their only source of emotional support. When that connection goes to shit, they have no one else. I get that one for sure. So what can you do as couples, and why do you want to do it, or why would you want to do it? So first off, I understand how you could feel lonely or alone when you're together with somebody else. I get it. It happens. We take each other for granted. There's so much that can happen. But not only that, when you're together with somebody else and still feel lonely, it's usually because you need friends of the same sex to be with you, to hang out and to do things together. This is why every Sunday, almost every Sunday, unless something goes awry, but almost every Sunday we get together with a friend of mine here for pickleball, mountain biking. Usually it's like an activity, like a full force activity, workout, whatever. We went to the range last time. It was great. So we always do that because I need time for myself with another, like a friend, right? A man. And then he needs time for himself as well, away from his kids and, the wife and everything. And not in a bad way. It's just that we always need time for ourselves. And this is coming from a man. Obviously, I can't speak from a woman's perspective, but I understand how women can feel alone when they are in a relationship because it's hard for us to understand you. I get that. I really do. It is. The fairer sex for me, man, is just you're an interesting creature that is difficult to figure out because we are very different. As a man, I am ultra logical to the point and just get to it real quick. And from my experience, women are not like that. At least the women in my life have not been like that. My girl now is very good about meeting in the middle with me, but that's just how we are, and that's how we're built, and that's okay, no problem. This is why you go do things with, separately with you a friend of the same sex and do whatever, and it's great and it helps out. But now, when it comes to couples, what can you do? Let's look at this one. Wine fest, because why not? Okay, so of course it says wino fest, right? So this is a good one. First of all, I would never go there by myself to a wine tasting because that's just, for a man especially, that's weird, bro. Never. If it was a beer tasting, maybe te la dejo pasar, maybe it's all right, pero wine taste, you have to take a girl, man. So you get together, you do things like that for couples. Again, you can do the cooking class. You can learn how to dance together. A bailar las pinches cumbias, güey, órale, whoo. Or country or whatever you want to do. I mean, you could do things like that. And it's so, so nice. And it brings both of you together. That's the point. It's not just for one or the other. Doing things with other people or doing things together or meeting others can be very helpful for your relationship because now you're not just talking to one person that you know everything about. Because what do? We repeat our stories. Oh, I already heard that one before. And you try not to be a douche and say anything, but you're like, ugh, I heard this before. Or you start talking about the same things and you just get, I hate to say it, but it happens to everybody. You get bored of the same thing, of the same ritual, right? So when you put two people in, of course, you got to make sure that they're good for you together for your relationship, to make sure that they're just as positive and, want good things for you. But when you put them in together, it can be very helpful for both of you. And Katerina brought this up earlier. What can you do? If you are Christian, if you are, I don't know, whatever other religion you are, it doesn't matter. If you want to go do something like this, you can do a faith-based group. You get together, you talk about your faith, or you can talk about food, or you can talk about how to better serve each other, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. A man is supposed to be serving the woman and vice versa. It's not one or the other. So it could be very helpful to do something like this. What else could you do? Game nights, dinner parties, things like that. So I like game night because I like trivia. First of all, don't give me pop culture or music porque ya valió madre. I'm going to lose for sure. My girl and I do some trivia at the bar sometimes. And as soon as it comes up, both of us were like, ya valió madre, we're going to lose. If it's music, we suck. If it's pop culture, we definitely suck. But if it's science, math, geography, things like that, it's like, okay, we can hold our own. We've never actually won. But we're like, oh, shit, we can get some of the answers. When you start talking about, I don't know, whoever the hell is singing right now, if you start talking about, I was going to say Britney Spears, no mames. She doesn't even sing anymore. That just shows my true colors, man, of how old I am. Whoever the hell is singing right now, if you ask me things like that, I'm not going to know. But you can go to trivia night. In fact, in my local area, they have them at a theater/bar. So you go there, you can go watch a movie, of course, but you can go to the bar and they have trivia night, all kinds of shit, man. And it's great because I was like, do people actually come here? So my girl and I went to check. No mames, there was a lot of people there because it's fun. It's something to do. You get to drink and you get to hang out. Plus there's like prizes and stuff, right? And there is a DJ or somebody that's, on the microphone. Hey, so-and-so won. Woo! And it's a great way for you not to feel alone. Together. You're doing something. You're having fun. You're kicking everybody else's ass. Hopefully. And it's something you can do together. Texas lady says, Damien, not old. Well, I'm 43 already, so I'm not old. I feel great, but I'm getting older. Es que pinche Britney Spears, chinga. I forget sometimes. Northstar Jewelry says, my husband and I used to love karaoke 15 years ago. So Don't ever anybody ever ask me to sing or do karaoke because I just no. Terrible voice, man. I am not musically talented at all. If you want to see anybody that's less musically talented, or just trust me, I suck at it. I don't want to do it. I don't have the ear for it. I don't have the pitch for it. Oh man, I mean, I wouldn't be embarrassed because I don't, but I would not want to do that. Northside Julie says we can't either. Those were our tone deaf drinking days. I'm 49. Awesome. 6 years older than me. Oh, you're old, bro. I'm kidding. What else can you do as a couple? This is one of my favorites. Puppies. Dog parks. First of all, this is a double one. For single people, is great. If you have a dog, you already automatically have something in common. For sure, I can tell you right now that for me to be with any woman, if she does not like dogs, ya valió madre, there's no way that we can be together. That's a big problem for me. That's a deal breaker 100%. My girl loves dogs. The dogs now love her. At the beginning, it was hard, right? But she loves dogs just as much as I. Actually, probably more because she gets mad at me for doing shit. Whatever, I'm like, whatever. But I love dogs. So doing things like this, going to the park, going to the dog park is freaking awesome. You get to learn about the breeds. You get to learn, about the dogs. You get to, of course, the dog is having a great time because it's not just about us, right? And in fact, I would show you one of my dogs, but he's over here. He's down here and he's asleep. He's 16, almost lost all his teeth, blind and going deaf. So I'm just going to leave him be. But that's something that you could do. It's freaking awesome, man. I love to do that. I love it. I don't go to a lot of dog parks, by the way. Like, I love to do this with dogs, but I don't go to a lot of dog parks because I can understand how there's a lot of issues. Like, they can get bit. They can pick up like a disease of some sort and things like that, right? But if you're careful, if you have a good vet, if you have them all vaccinated and all that, then it makes it easier for you to do this, to take your furry little ones to a dog park. Freaking awesome. Let's see. Y'all, we need a Texas gathering with all this margarita karaoke trivia talk for real. Hey, make it happen, and I'm there. Says, amen to that. Gotta love dogs. My husband never had any pets growing up, but I showed him to love dogs. Now he won't live without having one. I'm telling you. So I have 3 dogs right now, and I don't want to be morbid, but when one of them goes, well, actually when 2 of them goes, then I will get another dog. And I think 2 dogs is good for me, is because I used to have 4, and that's just a lot. First of all, it's expensive, as you guys know. Second of all, it's just hard for you to take them places, for you to vacation, do things that you need to do. So I think 2 dogs for me is going to be the sweet spot. And, of course, I love my dogs, but when they finally pass, and I think I'm going to go down to just having 2 dogs, I think it's more beneficial for everybody all the way around. So I don't know, but maybe. Look at this. I think we should all have a sleepover at Damien's house. What could go wrong for real, bro? Everybody's going to get drunk. Texas lady says people that mistreat animals are just not good. 100%. I believe that. 100%. I have, so how can I say this? I always feel more for dogs than I do for people. And maybe that's bad of me, but that's just how I roll. I can't help that. This is how I do. Last but not least, what can you do? Find an event so you don't feel lonely. There's a ton of different events. Look at this. Tequila and tacos. Órale, güey. Échate una tequilita y unos tacos from $97. So I'm assuming at the Tower of the Americas. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. The Tower of the Americas it's not cheap to eat there. And the food's by the way. But $97, you get to meet other people. Harvest Farmers Market. Taste of Northside. What else is there? Backyard Pitmaster Battle. Esa está con madre. So this would be cool. This would be something that a couple could go do because, first of all, if you know how to cook really well, you can enter this, or you can go to the taste testing. For example, in my area in New Braunfels, we have something called Wasselfest. For those of you that are German, I think it's a German drink. Um, I don't know what I forgot the actual name, but it's called Wassel. That's what they call it. We have Wasselfest and we go and drink, and there's non-alcoholic and alcoholic, and it's great when it's cold, of course, but we have it all the time. We also have, what is it called? The fest for beer. Damn it. Todo se me olvida. I always forget everything. I have a terrible memory. I swear to God, man. I'm going to end up with my brain gone. And by the time I don't know. Hopefully I make it till I'm 80 or 90. But anyways, you can do all these types of festivals. You can do all these types of things. The whole point is for you guys to get out there and meet other people so that you don't feel so freaking alone. Oktoberfest, chinga, thank you very much. We have a huge one, by the way, in New Braunfels, Texas. If I'm not mistaken, they make millions, plural, within like 10 days that they're open. It is insanely packed, hasta la madre de gente, like this. And you can see pictures and pictures and pictures of beer being had there. It's insane. I've gone twice. I don't go to that stuff because there's too many people. And as much as I'm saying, go meet people, that's just not for me. I don't want to be there. There's too many people. It's like this. It's so packed, but it is good. I've been there twice. You go buy tickets. The tickets are like cash inside. They sell you pictures. They do food. They do a lot of German music, obviously, because it's a German town. German music is awesome because there's chingos of accordion. It's just great. It's a great time. It's a great time for kids, as long as you're not there in the evening, but it's a great time for kids. They have rides. They have all that. And it's freaking awesome. And I love events like that you could go to. Like I said, I don't personally like to do that because that's just not me, but that's just me. Damien, I'm reading your mind today. I'll bet we'd be good at charades for real. I bet that too. I haven't played charades in a long time. So let me ask, who here, and be real, because I know a lot of us, it's hard for us to put ourselves out there. I get it, but I'll start and then you guys can follow. Who here has really felt lonely? Not alone, because you could be alone and not feel lonely. It's fine. But who here has felt lonely and has done something like this about it? Has gone somewhere to play a sport, to do an event, to get a class, to meet people? I'll start. A while back, especially when I started the business, I was doing about 14-hour days, 16-hour days. I still do very long days, but now it's different because I have the reselling business and I have YouTube, so I got to edit and do other shit like that. But I really was feeling lonely. And I have a woman that loves me, and she comes, she's here after work and all that, but I'm still alone about 10 hours a day, sometimes more. So I said, what can I do? So I went to a local restaurant / bar. It's a sushi bar. And there I met somebody that is now a friend of mine. And now we text back and forth and we get together. And it happened that we had something in common because when I sat, he was on his phone. He was bartending. He was on his phone, right? And then I just happened to catch a glimpse of what was on his phone, and it was Hot Wheels cars. I said, la madre. I said, okay, cool. This is my in, because I really wanted to meet somebody, somewhere I can go, talk to somebody that's a man, somebody of the opposite sex. Because I don't do let me go and talk to a woman. I can't do that. That's not okay with me. So I go and I found somebody to talk to, right? So I went and I found this guy, and I saw that and I said, hey, are those Hot Wheels, bro? Oh yeah, I got a Facebook group. And then we started talking. He's like, I got a Facebook group, and sometimes I do lives. I also do card breaks, which is like you buy packs of basketball cards, football, whatever, and then you open them, and people, you spin wheels. I don't know how the hell that works. You spin the wheel and you can win, and you buy them for $1. I was on it one time just to help him, to be there for him. But I had too much to drink and I spent way too much money, and the cards are who knows where. I mean, he benefited, and that's all that mattered. But so I went there looking for a connection, and I found one. And again, now he is one of the few people that have, my phone number, and he watches my videos all the time, my lives, and come to find out that him and his girl, I guess they were kind of doing this already. They would buy stuff and then they would go to the local flea market. And now they're getting more and more into reselling. They started a Facebook marketplace because his girl is insane like my girl and only wants to buy shit that breaks. So I'm like, okay, if you're still fairly new, don't ship it because you're going to break everything. So just sell it locally. So she's been doing that, but now she's getting into eBay and it's becoming more of a thing. And sometimes when we see each other passing by, like in the city, like, and we'll stop and say hello. And it's just cool that you could do that you're able to do that and people are open to that. So if you guys have a story like that, or if you guys ever put them on, let me read them. Let me know in the comments because I think that it would be very helpful for other people to understand that they're not alone. It's not just, it's not just them feeling this way. And there are things that we can do about it. Like I said, North Star Jewelry says, go on the Mediterranean cruise with NCL. It's amazing. I don't know what NCL is, but I've never been on a cruise. I'm out for boats. Ya valió madre, I'm not going to go on a boat. That's not me. Monica Gonzalez says, I have many moons ago, I joined a Christian women's soccer team. Awesome. I do not play a lot of soccer. I mean, I can, of course. I can kick a ball and I can play soccer, but I don't play a lot of soccer. But that'd be cool. But there's, like I said, my friend and I are getting into a team, or not a team, doing pickleball, and then we're going to start getting into competitions. And I already asked, the local chapter of the city has a pickleball court that they open X day at X time. So we're going to go meet all the guys there, and then we're going to start, kicking ass or getting our ass kicked. I don't know, one or the other. It depends. Let's see. Hold on. If anybody has one to share, I would love to read it. Hold on. Jeff Kiernan was responding to somebody else, but I like to read this because it's interesting. I've never done it. I met my wife over 35 years ago and life has been awesome. Never felt lonely again, even on a business trip. I talk to her at least 3 times every day, one way or the other. Bruh, why are you making everybody else, us feel or look bad, bro? What the hell? No, actually, in fact, I talk to my girl all the time like that too. I text her throughout the day. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? How's work going? And it feels good. I'm glad that you have somebody that you feel like that with because it's not easy to find. I get that shit, man, 100%. I've been married and divorced twice, so I get it. The woman that I'm with is everything's working out great. We've been together for a while already. I don't remember. Shit, 8 years, 9 years, something like that. And I get it. It's hard to find somebody that you can trust and you can feel good around. Good around and doesn't make you feel lonely, even when you have somebody, right? Gary Katarina says, being an entrepreneur for 50 years, there are periods of time I was lonely. I would find things to do. Like at first I was a disco dancing in the 70s. I discovered I could make money winning dance. That is awesome. Shit, now that image is not gonna come out of my head now. Oh, thank you. NCL is Norwegian Cruise Line. Is that the one where everybody got trapped? I don't want to go there. North Star Jewelry says, I joined a hospice volunteer program. That's nice. And especially this hits a little closer to home because I just had a family member pass and they were in Hope Hospice, but I get how difficult that can be. My mom actually used to work for a hospice place. I don't, is it just called hospice? A home or hospice home, hospice place? Okay. She used to work at a hospice care. And everybody loved her because my mom is always very giving when it comes to her energy and her love. But I also understand how difficult that could be. But I think that when you do things like that, you are doing so much good for someone else because it's necessary, especially when you're in the downturn of your life and, when you're almost done. You don't want to feel alone. Like, who wants to be alone? I don't want to feel alone. I mean, and I think about this sometimes too, because I don't have kids. So what's going to happen to me, because like, so my mom asks, you know, who's going to take care of me, who's going to take care of me when I'm older? And obviously, what, we will take care of her. There's 3 boys in our family. It's my older brother, me, I'm in the middle child, and we have our younger brother. And she asks, who's going to take care of me? I'm like, Mom, we're going to take care of you. All of us, or one of us, or, you can live with whoever once you guys are done. And we always say mom, because usually like the women will outlast the man, right? So I was like, yeah, my dad's going to go before my mom for sure. But we think about this, and then I was thinking, shit, I don't have kids. And I'm like, man, that's going to be tough when I get older, because it's going to be all me by myself. And if you have a significant other that passes, what do you do? It's hard, man. So I get it. And I don't mean to bring us down and all that, but it's part of hospice and it's part of life, right? So then I thought, shit, I need to make chingos of money to make sure that my nurses are very well paid so that they don't, smother me when I'm asleep. Oh, shit, man, because I don't have kids. Oh, man. Okie Ranch wife says that my weekly trip to town is enough peopling for me. That's good. Hey, if that's what you want, if that's really what you require, then that's okay. There is no right or wrong answer, right? Whatever makes you happy is fine. Jeff Kiernan says, I'm the luckiest guy in the universe. I'm glad that you feel that way, brother. A lot of people that I've talked to don't feel that way. And it makes me sad, man, because there's a lot online, a lot of fighting between the sexes, right? A man fighting a woman, and men, we're always... oh, women are, men are, and we should stop doing that. We really should. I understand that we're different, and I understand that we suck in some ways, and we are good in some ways, both of us, men and women. But instead of looking at the flaws, we really should be saying, or we really should be asking how to get together again like it used to be hundreds and hundreds of years ago, if not thousands of years ago, so that we can help each other, because we're supposed to be complementary. One complements the other. That's how we're supposed to be. We need to stop fighting, man. That's why I like to talk about this. And I mean, who the hell am I to say anything, right? I've been divorced twice. And honestly, a lot of the times I think about it, and if I ever have a choice, once you commit to somebody forever, you're supposed to be there forever. But shit happens and life happens, and you don't know what's going to happen. And it is what it is. So you just have to deal. Corange Doritos says, shame, Damien, nurses only smother the troublemakers. I know. I'm telling you. Hey, if you have enough money, nobody's going to want to smother you, because then they're going to get off of the gravy train. So I need to make a ton of money. Oh, man. Let's see. So I'm glad that today's talk was about this, because again, I get people that reach out all the time, and they're like, oh man, I'm always alone, or I don't have anybody to spend time with, especially during the holidays. And it just hurts my heart sometimes to see that. And obviously, like, there's only so much I can do, right? And I can do whatever I can. So that's why I make videos like this, because I think that they're helpful. The number one thing I think that we all want is for us to know, and not that misery loves company, but for us to know that it's not just happening to us. It makes you feel better when you know that it's not just you. It's a part of the human condition that we feel some kind of way. So having that, feeling that, knowing that, I think it's helpful. So I'm hoping that that's what, this does for other people. I'm hoping that it helps, at the very least in that way. I'm hoping that they take the words that were said here, the advice that I gave about, going out and meeting others, especially if you're single or if you're in a couple, whatever the case, but meeting others, right? And go and do those things, because it is fun. But if nothing else, at least understand that you're not alone. It's not just happening to you. It's part of the human condition, and we have to, I'm not going to say get used to it, because it shouldn't be that we have to get used to it, but it is part of it. So we have to understand it and not let it drag us down, not let it make us negative, and not let it overshadow all the positivity that we do have in our lives, all the good things that we have in our lives, all the good people that are around us. So Jeff Kiernan says, smart men need to learn one thing. Your life is not yours. It's a life of service to wife, family, friends, community, and others. Every day should be about others. The rest will fall into line. That is very true, my friend. You know what? That's well said. If you start treating yourself, your relationships, your business in service of others first, everything else works out. And I know this firsthand, because I've had 7 businesses fail on me. This is the 8th one, and this one's working out. And the other 7, the one common goal was, I need to make more money, because I was broker, you know? So it was always, I need to make more money. I need to figure out how to make more money. And it was always about the money, not about the help, not about the service, not about the product, not about the other stuff, right? So now that I made it about everything else, about the customer, about the viewer, about the users, about the people that are listening, the people that are watching, it has helped tremendously. And I don't have 1 million subscribers, and I don't need that. We have like 20,000 subs on my main channel, and the other channel's working just fine. But more so than that, what I feel that I have, and I know this because of the posse members, the What the FAQ that I have on Thursdays, is that the people that do get on the channel, that are on here, I'm very thankful, because there is a strong connection. Because I've seen channels that are like, oh my God, they have so many millions of followers. And then you see that there's a disconnect between whoever's talking and the people that are there. They're just watching to watch versus watching to participate, or watching to help, or watching because it's actually impactful. And that's what I try to do all the time. And I'm hoping that that's what I'm doing. And if that's not what I'm doing, you guys can always say something, and I'll change my approach as best as I can. But yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to focus as much as I can on everybody else. And if that helps somebody else, then great. I'd love to do that. I would love to see that and hear that. TT3 says, I was nice to my family, people, and reminded them I get senior points for this. Now almost a senior in cricket, so I'll try some suggestions made. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand. Well, I can tell you what, you can always hang out here with us. We have, of course, the main channel. We also have the Posse membership, which gives you additional videos. It's like an hour long, usually video on Thursdays. And you get to ask questions and things like that. And I'm not saying it just for, I want more members and the money. It's not about that. It's about the community. If you want a different community, we also have a Discord channel where you can get on. It's very small right now, but if you want faster access to other people, ask questions, things like that, you can get on there. And of course, try it in your local area. I always recommend something with activity, as in movement, as in pickleball or running or biking or whatever. And the reason is twofold. Because one, you're going to feel better about yourself because you're doing some exercise. That gets your shit moving and you just feel good. And two, you get to meet the other people. So you're doing two things at once. That's why I always say. And if it were me, I would do that. Besides the food, because I would love to go to a cooking class. In fact, I need to find one that's closer because those classes are way too far away from me. But I do want to find one. Cool Rancerito says, this is a great idea, Damien. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all and make new friends. I believe that if you surround yourself with positive people, your life is fuller. That is correct. I have found that I have surrounded myself at parts of my life with people that are trash and that are always negative. And I hate to call them trash, but that's what they were, man. And they were not good for me. And I got in trouble and no, man. So now I try to figure out I try to vet people a little bit better and make sure that the people that are around me are good, kind-hearted, and positive. For example, my moderator and friend Boats, we go back and forth. We talk a lot of shit for sure. And by that I mean like we say stupid things, but it's all generally positive, and I know that he's kind. You can tell that by responses. You have been vetted. Girl Dad Sales says, I lost my mom a year ago and hospice staff was so great. Well, first off, my condolences. I did not know that. Obviously, why would I? But I'm sorry about that. But I'm glad that the hospice staff was great. Sometimes it's difficult, man. I've seen some crazy stories, and my mom's told me some shit, man, that is like, bro, I don't understand how people can do that in good conscience. Like the bad things that happen. Oh my God. We're not gonna get into that. We are not gonna do that. Damien, Spurs or Knicks? None of the above. I'm not a sports fan. But I'm gonna have to say Spurs because I'm in San Antonio. Pues que quieres? Plus, sometimes I don't get into it. I just gamble. So I'll watch it because I'm gambling. But other than that, I don't care. Sports are not for me. The only sport that I watch is MotoGP. That's Motorcycle Grand Prix. That's it. Everything else, I'm out. I'd rather work or I'd rather do something else, outside or something active. Jeff Kiernan, see you later. Thank you very much for joining us, brother. We're going to be done here in a few minutes. Let me just go through these. Let's see what you guys have to say, and then we're going to be done. Girl Dad Sales says, I'm living with a senior now who has no kids or spouse, and it's lonely existence for her. And home health services are scarce for people like her on Social Security, only with no family. I get it, man. But it is what it is. My situation is very unique, which I will not go into because that's for me and me alone. But I understand not having kids. It can be hard, man. It can be hard for a lot of people. Let's see. Full Frame says, I'm trash. Does that mean we can't hang out? Negative. We cannot. Oh, man. Okay, everybody with the Spurs. Okay, what did I say? Yeah, Spurs. North Star Jewelry. That's funny. ¿Qué huele, carnal? I'm not sure. What's up, cuz? He's an actual cuz, by the way, a cousin. No sé, güey. ¿Qué estamos? 9th? Es más, probably for... I don't want to give any dates, pero probably for dads. Después hablamos. Pero yeah, I'll be down there. Para lo de siempre, güey. Jalar y ya sabes. But it'll be good. I'll be down there. Sometimes my family gets on here. It's always interesting. Okie Ranch Wife says, Philadelphia Flyers, back when they were Broad Street Bullies. Who are they? I'm assuming that's hockey. Girl Dad Sales says, hey guys, I want to announce I'm officially a business. Got my state and local licenses. You know what? Hold on. Estado. Congratulations. Congratulations. Woohoo. Awesome. I am glad. That is going to give you definitely a leg up, by the way, with a lot of different things. You don't have to be paying the taxes up front, so you can reinvest that money for yourself instead of waiting for the damn government to give it to you at the end of the year, which is freaking great. I do that all the time. There's a lot of things that are going to be good for you. What I would do is that I would consult a professional about all the do's and don'ts of running a business. There's a lot, especially things you can write off. So ask an accountant or ask somebody else. I normally, by the way, posse members or not, I normally do not get into accounting or anything like that because people will take something like my word for it to the T, even though it might just be different because I'm in Texas, and then they're going to give me shit later when it's different because they're in Michigan or in Florida or whatever, right? So I don't talk about any of that. You should get a professional. But I do, again, want to say congratulations for doing that. It's freaking awesome. And now you can also use those licenses to sell locally, and it'll open some doors for you. Plus, if you start building your, ¿cómo se llama? Business credit, you can eventually, your business can borrow money, which is freaking great. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, everybody, thank you very much. Today's was, hold on, Tuesday the 9th, 6 p.m. So my goal is for the live channel to be on at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays for the lives. I am going to be double streaming. Hopefully, if this works properly every time, I'm going to be double streaming to my regular channel and my Resolutions live channel from here on out, because I want to move over whoever wants to move over faster. That way I can get to the amount of subs and the hours and all the shit that I have to do on the back end so that it can work better. And of course, so that I can eventually monetize it. But that's not even the goal. The goal is to separate the people that want to be on the lives, because some lives are going to go on for hours at a time. If the conversation takes us that way, then that's the way it's going to be. In fact, I have some lives scheduled that are very touchy topics that I know that people are going to get, on about, like angry, happy, whatever, right? And it's great because we need to have discussions so we can all understand certain topics. Like you know what? I'm not even gonna tell you guys right now, but I have a bunch of topics that are coming up. So I'm gonna be doing that for the time being. Eventually, I'm gonna stop streaming on my regular channel, or my main channel, I should say, and only stream on my second channel. So just so you guys know, when you go to the second channel, Resolutions Live, make sure you click the bell and the notifications and all that and turn them on, because if not, you're going to miss out. But you can expect Tuesdays at 6 p.m., for me to be on here with a nice screen in the background and everything. Yeah, it's all cool, right? And then I'm going to try to go randomly live, vertical on my phone when I'm out and about. It's just very difficult sometimes, because if I'm driving, going from cell tower to cell tower, it doesn't really work to live, so I have to stop somewhere. So maybe I could do it on an estate sale. Maybe I could do it outside of a thrift store, or while I'm thrifting. I'm not sure. But I want this to be an experience, and I can bring a little bit of me to you guys of what goes on in my life. I also want to live stream when I'm doing the changes here, because all this in the back, by the way, it's going to change. I'm going to get rid of the books and all this stuff. Hey, it's going to be very different. And I'm already drawing it out to figure out how this whole office is going to be, this whole studio. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but for now it's going to stay like this. But eventually you'll see that it's changing little by little. And hopefully I'll be able to live stream some of it so you guys can see me. We can talk about, maybe you can give me ideas of what to do, what not to do with the background. So everybody, thank you very much for joining me for tonight. We will see you in the next one. Peace and cheers, everybody. Woohoo! Pompomania. I saw your comment. I'll try. Estate sales are hard, though, because sometimes I can't. They don't allow you to do that. Unless I'm like I put it in my pocket and they don't know, then they don't know. But I don't know. Let's see what I can do. All right. Peace.